Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a story that's shaking the very foundations of Labour's economic promises. Rachel Reeves, Labour's shadow Chancellor, recently unveiled her master plan, a hefty national insurance (NICE's) hike, aimed at raising an ambitious £25 billion from employers. It's a move she promised would bolster our welfare system and bring in £16.1 billion annually by 2029. But the latest numbers are sounding alarms across the country. According to shocking new projections, the rising costs of health-related incapacity benefits alone will devour any revenue Reeves hoped to raise. That's right, Labour's big tax increase is already being swallowed by a surging welfare crisis that even Reeves didn't see coming. And if you think that's the end of it, think again. The Office for Budget Responsibility, OBR, and the Centre for Social Justice, CSJ, are now warning that this crisis is spiralling out of control, with a welfare iceberg waiting to drain billions from public services, threatening to turn Reeves's grand plan into a nightmare for Britain's finances.
I will not increase your national insurance. I will not increase your VAT, and I will not increase your income tax. Working people will not see higher taxes in their payslips as a result of the choices that I am making today. That is a promise made and a promise fulfilled. But any responsible Chancellor would need to make difficult decisions today, to raise the revenues required to fund our public services and to restore economic stability. So in today's budget, I am announcing an increase in employers' national insurance contributions. We will increase the rate of employers' national insurance by 1.2 percentage points to 15% from April 2025. And we will reduce the secondary threshold, the level at which employers start paying national insurance on each employee's salary, from £9,100 a year to £5,000. This will raise £25 billion per year by the end of the forecast period. I know that this is a difficult choice. I do not take this decision lightly. We are asking businesses to contribute more, and I know that there will be impacts of this measure felt beyond businesses too, as the OBR have set out today. But in the circumstances...
Order, Chancellor! Order! Now, if that shocking clip has you reeling, buckle up, because the full story is a roller coaster. In its latest forecast, the OBR projects that spending on health and disability benefits will hit a jaw-dropping £100 billion annually by the end of the decade, with £75.7 billion going to working-age individuals alone. This isn't just a small increase, folks. It's a surge that could make it nearly impossible to fund essential public services in the years to come. So, what's driving this explosion in welfare costs? According to the OBR, it's the rise in health-related benefit claims, especially since the pandemic. More people are seeking incapacity benefits due to chronic mental health conditions, including anxiety and depression, which have skyrocketed post-lockdown. Since the pandemic, the number of people neither working nor looking for work has surged by nearly 700,000, reaching a staggering 2.75 million people. And as the OBR has warned, these trends aren't expected to reverse. Instead, they predict that Britain will see over 420,000 new incapacity claims by 2030, a number Reeves's NIC's hike simply can't cover. Child disability benefits surge to alarming highs. And it's not just adults. The OBR has flagged a dramatic rise in child disability benefits as well. Payments for children with disabilities are set to soar from £4.4 billion this year to a projected £7.2 billion by 2029. The spike is largely driven by an increase in diagnoses of autism, ADHD, and other learning difficulties. As a result, the share of universal credit claims for health reasons is expected to rise from just under a third today to half of all claims within the next few years. So, while Reeves's NIC's increase might sound like a big number, it pales in comparison to the storm of welfare spending Britain is facing. Rachel Reeves's NIC's increase, set to raise the employer rate by 1.2 percentage points to 15%, was expected to bring in an impressive £16.1 billion a year by 2029. But here's the twist. The OBR now says that due to weaker wage growth from this very tax increase, the actual revenue will fall short. Lower wage growth is expected to push more people onto welfare support, with the NIC's increase contributing a hefty £400 million to universal credit spending. This means the very tax designed to raise funds for welfare could end up sending more people into the welfare system itself. Now, in an effort to address these growing pressures, the government has just confirmed a sweeping overhaul of benefits. In a shock move, they're scrapping income-related employment and support allowance, ESA, 2 years early, forcing claimants to migrate to universal credit by 2026. The Department for Work and Pensions, DWP, claims this change will modernise the welfare system and ensure claimants have the support they need. But the transition is anything but smooth. The DWP has already issued nearly 1.14 million migration notices, letters notifying people of the need to switch over. Shockingly, almost 300,000 claimants have already lost their payments for failing to respond. Now, the clock is ticking for the remaining 800,000 households yet to transition. Recipients of these migration notices must act within 3 months of receiving them, or risk losing their benefits entirely. Financial advisors have issued a stark warning, urging families to brace for significant financial changes, as there's no going back to ESA once the switch to universal credit is made. As pressure mounts, Rachel Reeves and Work and Pensions Secretary Liz Kendall are caught in the eye of the storm. While Kendall has announced a series of welfare reforms and plans for a white paper to tackle Britain's worklessness crisis, critics say it's too little, too late. The CSJ's chief executive, Andy Cook, has praised Kendall's approach in principle, particularly her focus on devolved employment support and the proposed interwork guarantee. However, he warned that radical action is needed to address the epidemic of long-term sickness and economic inactivity. Cook has even suggested following the example of the Dutch, calling for a system where local communities take responsibility for addressing worklessness and long-term unemployment. But will Reeves's tax raid and Kendall's reforms be enough to plug the leaks in Britain's welfare budget? Or is the welfare iceberg about to sink the entire system? With so many claiming that the NIC's increase can't keep up with welfare spending, the stakes are clear. Britain's welfare system, and the economy at large, could face unprecedented strain if Reeves and Kendall's plans fall short. As tax revenues are swallowed up by soaring benefit costs, questions mount over whether these funds will be enough to support the very systems Reeves and her team have promised to secure. If you want more updates on this explosive welfare spending crisis and Labour's taxing conundrum, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and stay tuned. This is just the beginning, folks. Britain's welfare drama is far from over, and we're here to bring you every shocking twist as it unfolds.